My name is McLaughlin, and I teach 6th and 7th grade honors English at Blair. And I am a product of PUSD. I attended Marshall. We came here when I was 12. And first school that I knew was Marshall, and I started there in the 7th grade and went all the way through the 12th grade. I don't remember a lot. It's kind of interesting, the things I remember, but I was less of a student and more of a jokester. I think as a student, I think there was so much home trauma that I never really gave it a chance. And actually, I had a lot of anger, so I was in trouble a lot. When I was a sophomore, which was kind of interesting, have one teacher, Mrs. Clark, I can remember her. Somehow, she believed that I was capable of more. I don't know how, but she did. And she recommended me for the English honors or AP or whatever that was. Others weren't very in favor of what she was suggesting, but somehow that won. And I was put in there. And I think I did okay when it came to the cognitive part of it, but the writing, I was nowhere prepared for the writing that they were doing. I became the head of accounting at this nonprofit, but still always had this idea that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to go to college. I did. No one in my family has ever been to college, so it wasn't something that was, just part of an expectation. Eventually, through some circumstances, I decided somehow to take that risk, and I enrolled in a degree completion program, at Azusa Pacific. And I basically went to school from October of 2004 all the way through May of 2008, getting a bachelor's, credential, and eventually master's. Getting my master's in my first year teaching at Webster while doing BITSA. I never imagined that I'd be teaching middle school. That wasn't anything I set out to do. I wanted to work in elementary. And I can remember being at Azusa talking with a credential analyst, and she says, "Oh, your minor was English. You could have a supplemental." And I'm like, "Why would I want that?" And then she says, "Well, you could teach middle school or a freshman English." And I'm like, No, I don't want that. And she said, "Well, let's get it. It doesn't cost. It's not going to hurt, so let's keep it." And it actually ended up saving me during budget times, and I can't imagine doing anything else. I was hired after Norm Day, which was really hard. Norm Day is a day that the district and the state keep track of who they have and how much money they have, and they go from there. So the kids had no permanent teacher for about 5 to 6 weeks, and it was really, really tough. And I remember it being well into November when I came home and thought, wow, I actually taught today, but sadly I was laid off, RIFT we call it, at the end of that first year, but hired back very quickly. Then went through the next year, and due to some grade level changes at Webster, I was laid off again and also bumped out of Webster. And I came to Blair, and in my first year I taught math and science to 6th graders. Then I was laid off one more time, sadly, and what do you know? That English credential kicked in, and I started teaching English, and I haven't looked back. When I first decided to go into teaching, I wanted to give back to my community. That to me felt like a calling, not just a philosophy. I wasn't going to go anywhere else. I was committed that I was going to teach where I live. And I own a home here. I grew up here from 12 on. And so that was important to me. The other thing is I love the diversity in my classroom. I love that I look out and not everybody looks like me. I like that. It actually is exciting to me. And I like that for our kids. I want their worlds to be bigger and broader. And that's the other thing. I love the IB part that fits in very well with the idea that people can have different opinions and they can have different ideas and different value systems, but you could still love them. I want them to understand reading and writing can be revolutionary for them. They can be life-changing. It can be, you can go anywhere and never leave your book, you know, that kind of idea. But life is all about those emotional minutes, and I think for a middle schooler, it's really about those emotional minutes. I think I still am a middle schooler, just in a little bigger body, but you know, just the wanting fun, and I think I can, you know, use that to help make it fun, because I think that's important. And I think they see me excited about something, they get excited about it too. The people I work with are very cooperative. There's a desire to work together. There isn't this is mine, not yours. There's a shared idea. It seems like I've been blessed twice to come into two communities that have just been home. I felt like that way at Webster, I feel like that way at Blair. I think public education is where it needs to be. I have no doubt in my mind.